show all the time. All right. And we are live, folks. Welcome to the Sit Down Standard, the podcast celebrating all the amazing things you can do while sitting, whether it's enjoying movies, watching television, or playing games. I'm one of your hosts, David Bray. I'm joined, as always, by Gerald Bales.
Hi.
And Jordan Mofo Peterson.
He's back.
All right. That's Mr. Jordan Peterson to you.
Forgot how to say that.
Yeah, I did. I was like, what's my line?
As we always start all the podcasts, we want to tell everybody, if you're listening to the audio version, go to YouTube. We do video versions of the podcast, and we broadcast the podcast live on Periscope. So follow us on Twitter. It's at Sit Down Standard, and then you can find notifications there to find out when we broadcast the podcast live. But before we get any further, we got to catch up because Jordan hasn't been here a couple episodes.
We got 3 weeks of What You Doing, man.
Here we go. Ready? What you doing? What you doing? What you doing? Ba-da-da-da-da.
I've had to live with this for 2
I like how he does it all on his own now. He doesn't wait for anybody to help him out.
I'm so excited.
He just goes,
I don't care.
All.
I'm super excited. Let's see. Jordan, let's start with you. What are you up to, man? What you doing? You've been gone too long.
I know I have been gone. You'd think I'd have a whole bunch of stuff gathered together to talk about, but the reason
taking
I'm gone
notes
is I'm
every
not doing
week.
fun
I'm
stuff.
going to talk about this.
Yeah, I did take a break and go see a movie, which was nice. Jungle Book.
Yes.
Oh, cool.
Did you guys watch that?
I did.
I have
You
not seen
didn't listen to the
No, I don't listen to
What
you
a
guys.
jerk.
I told you, only the
guys are
podcast
boring
he's
without
on
me.
does he listen to.
You're boring without me. What do I do? Sorry. It's nobody funny.
Sarah and I went to go see it when it came out the weekend. It was
Yeah,
really good. What'd you think?
Family went. It was really good. Really, it was awesome.
Did you see it in
It
3D?
was tad bit long.
That's what I was going to say. How long is the movie?
I don't know. I didn't like finish the movie and saying, oh man, that felt long.
It was long enough that the way I always judge it is, did I look at my watch? Yes, I did. I was like, it's got to be wrapping up
First of
soon,
all, you have a
right?
watch?
Well, no, I look at my phone.
I got you.
But I try to do it
In the movie
with-
theater?
Yeah,
You're
I
like,
kind of hide it underneath the sweater or something. They used to have a clock on the wall. They got rid of that. I guess it was too
Really?
bright or something. I remember as a kid, there was like you had to know how to tell time because it was like analog.
Like
But
a
you could
lit
look
up
at the
How can you
wall.
see it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was like glow in the dark, and you could
Oh.
like, see the time.
Yeah, that would be
but they took
distracting.
that out. Yeah, it was slightly distracting. But anyways,
you see
yeah,
it in
but it was
3D?
really, really good.
3D
I
or
did
is
see it in 3D because we showed up to watch it at 7:30. And we didn't realize that people go to movies. And it was completely full at 7:30 when we got there. We would have had to sit at the very front. So we skipped that showing, went to the next one that was 3D, paid the extra $15 or whatever.
You hate the cost, but how do you feel about the actual technology?
It's fine. It's neither here nor there to me.
Doesn't really add anything for you?
No.
Well, if you listen to the podcast, Jordan. I said this movie in 3D is probably better than any other 3D movie I've seen since Avatar because it's all CG, so it works. It's not like it was filmed in 2D and then like post-converted, and that's where it looks like crap.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess I'd have to watch it in regular to know the difference, but it seems like it didn't seem like 3D
Shere
to
Khan
me.
is coming in your face.
I guess. I don't know.
I saw the interview with the kid that plays Mowgli, and he's like the cutest kid. Man.
He's adorable, yeah.
He's funny.
He did a really good job. Like, really good job. He makes Anakin Skywalker, puts him to shame. Like, he's the
Jake
worst
Lloyd.
kid actor ever. Like, how, if they had Mowgli play that kid, that would have been a good movie almost.
Except
That kid was horrible. But, no, it was a really, really excellent movie. And just how he does it all without actual being things there, I don't know. It's just, because
the whole movie is filmed on a soundstage. It's weird.
Yeah, it was really good. I didn't love the voice casting. What did you
Really?
think? What did you think
Oh,
about
it was great. Perfect.
Really? I don't know. To me, it was distracting because it's just like, oh, there's Bill Murray. Oh, there's these people. You know what I mean?
There's
I don't know.
Christopher Walken.
There's Scarlett Johansson. Yeah, Christopher Walken. They even gave him his eyes. Like,
I thought that was the only like kind of weird part
in.
in him singing. You know, I thought that was kind of weird.
I liked that they put the songs in.
Like he sounded weird singing.
Yeah, it was.
Everyone else did really well.
But yeah, I felt like the voice was, and maybe it was just because it was weird seeing animals talk. Like,
that's what I said. I always have a problem with the animals talking thing. It's the onomatopoeia. Like I almost enjoy it where they don't move their mouth. Like think of like Homeward Bound style.
Right.
Like back in the day where they just show the picture of the dog and you know the voice because it's Michael J. Fox or whatever, right? That actually is more immersive to me than the moving mouth.
but
You need
kinda,
to see this movie though because it's different.
I know.
You
The
get
CG
over
is
it.
so good now.
It is really good.
You get over it.
You get over it quick. Even the people I didn't like at first, like Bill Murray was really distracting. I was like, that doesn't sound like Baloo. Like, what are you talking about? But then, you immediately forget.
The question is, do they steal like scenes from the 1970s? Like, remember they stole the artwork? It's like shared a bunch of different animation. No.
But they did like take shots from the old movie, like
That's
the
cool.
Bare Necessities like song where they're like floating. He's on his stomach and stuff. Like it is really cool.
That's cool. And they actually sing the 2 songs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I still need to go see it. It's one of my favorite classic movies. So
There was a song of Scarlett Johansson singing the "Trust in Me." You know that song?
Mm-hmm.
And it's on the official soundtrack, but
It's in the credits. If you
okay.
if you
I
stuck
was gonna say it
around
wasn't in the
credits-
movie, which is good because actually she does not sing very well.
So are they showing up in the Avengers soon, or?
right. But yeah, if you stick around, the credits were actually actually that was one of the cooler parts I thought in 3D was the credits because it had that book. Did you stick?
Oh
around
yeah,
for
the
credits
book
at all?
opens. And
Yeah, so I thought that was neat, and then it does get into the Scarlett Johansson song.
Oh, okay.
You
Yeah,
know
it's
what-
good. The song is not that good.
You know what I missed though? The "We're Your Friends, We're Your Friends" that song with the Beatles like vultures.
The vultures,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
That I love that part of the movie. That's like one of my favorite parts. But
I like the elephant march.
They don't have those characters at all. Oh yeah, that too.
So did they just extend, or did they add brand new content?
It's not like a remake of the old movie.
Okay.
It's,
So
there's
it's
definitely
characters-
different things.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
Good to know.
different story for sure.
Does he get raised by wolves in the beginning?
Yes.
Okay, just
Yeah,
checking.
for sure. No,
They
they
don't eat
keep,
him?
core, bro.
they keep the
canon.
main.
Canon.
Yeah, they keep the canon, but they add a little extra.
That's good.
It's it makes a little more sense actually.
It's supposed to be more true to the book than the old movie, but it's still not a direct from the book. Because
Is
like
it
in the book, I think Mowgli, like Shere Khan kills Mowgli.
Really?
I was just gonna say a lot of those like
It's a
kids.
horrible book.
movies-
No, it's a dark book, but
yeah, it's like based off of like.
and you can't have that like at the end of the Disney movie. Of
course
like,
not.
Oh, he wins. Oh, okay.
Right.
Nature wins, buddy.
Yeah.
Anything else? What else you doing?
Oh, what else did I do? Oh, I finished Daredevil finally.
Season 2.
Yes.
Don't spoil anything. I'm not done.
I'm like
my
halfway
God,
through.
Come on, it's been like months.
I know.
I watched like the second of the Elektra arc. By the way, she's smoking.
Yeah.
Elektra?
No, I didn't think I'd like Elektra. I don't like her as a character in general, but actually I loved her in that show. It was really awesome. Doesn't help that she's easy on the eyes, or it doesn't hurt. I mean,
Yeah.
But yeah, it was so good. The whole thing.
My only question: do they wrap things up, or do they open it up, or do they just don't tell me just yes or no? Do they leave things? Is there a
Yes or no? That's a
cliffhanger?
They have to leave it
question.
open for a third season.
Have they been signed for a third season? I would imagine.
No, but the Daredevil got greenlit for its own show.
what do you mean?
last week.
Punisher?
Punisher.
Yeah,
I was
makes
like,
more
Daredevil
sense.
is
Yeah. Sorry,
They're like,
Punisher.
front news. Daredevil's coming soon.
Punisher got greenlit for its own
Yeah,
show.
that would
That's
be
awesome.
really good. It was tied pretty nicely with a bow.
That's good, that's
I
good.
don't think it didn't have any huge questions or anything like that. It was, I mean, there's still the characters are out there. There's still possibilities for more.
Of course.
But it was nicely tied up.
I want them to show up in the movie so bad.
I heard
whole
a rumor
Defenders-
that they might be in the Gauntlet.
I hope so.
The
Why
Infinity
not?
War?
Yeah, but the guy who plays Daredevil said he wasn't going to be in like Civil War or whatever.
Michael Cox, I think is his name. The guy who
Yeah.
plays Daredevil.
Yeah, but
He's a great actor for like out of
so
nowhere.
great. Yeah, that,
All of them are like other than like Rosario Dawson and the guy who plays
I actually
Punisher.
like
but,
Rosario. I like Rosario.
Which
Dawson.
one?
No,
Shit.
I'm saying like unknowns. Like he's
okay.
kind of unknown. The guy or the chick who plays Elektra, I haven't seen her in anything.
Right.
She's
the
really
blonde
good.
girl. Is that the Dawson?
No, she's a nurse.
blonde
She's
chick?
a nurse.
Oh, no, I like her. Yeah, the blonde chick though, I don't like her that much.
Rosario Dawson was in Clerks too.
Okay, yeah, no, I know.
Okay,
I just didn't know the
checking.
name. I knew the face. I didn't know the name.
Okay.
But the blonde hair, the assistant, I think she overacts.
A little bit.
her.
A little bit.
She's a little too much,
Yeah.
like heavy-handed with stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, she got, but not
But
enough.
I think that's kind
to
of her
matter.
character.
Yeah,
a little bit.
but
She's like a little dramatic.
Yeah, definitely.
Like she wants to be the crime fighter and get in there, and it's like, dude, you're gonna get killed.
Yeah, but then I don't know. She wears her emotions on her face like so obviously.
She's
It's
like,
just
I'm so.
right. Yeah,
The only thing
everything
that-
she spells out so
The
clearly.
biggest thing I don't like about that show though, it's like they're not a very good law firm. Like
course
they
they're
want to
not.
represent the Punisher.
Yeah,
It's like you're dumb.
but yeah, exactly. But they kind of go through that in the rest of the season.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it does kind of develop into something. I wish I could talk about it since it's been a month and
Well,
a half.
well, I think-
But it's always like we'll represent you pro bono, or like they get paid in food and
They
stuff.
get paid in,
yeah,
like,
like
big
bananas.
Newtons.
I'm like,
yeah,
it's not
awesome.
a way to run a company.
yeah. But other
That's
than,
that was the whole thing though. Back in the comics, he was always like getting paid by chickens and stuff like that. By,
Oh,
like-
really?
Yeah. He was down and out, Hell's Kitchen.
yeah, he's got to get Kingpin to give him some money every once in a while or something like that. But yeah, have you gotten to Kingpin yet?
Oh, does he show up in?
I
this
mean, no.
Stop.
No, I have not. You sure?
Jeez,
Yeah,
man.
I'm
it's-
like halfway through, a little past.
The
I think it was
whole
like the
thing's good.
second Elektra episode.
We'll watch it. We'll check it out.
All right. So other than that, that's about all I've got going on. So
In 3
Gerald,
weeks.
yeah, 3 weeks. You can tell my life's super awesome. So Gerald, what you doing?
A bunch of stuff actually.
There we go.
I got this list here.
Man,
guys.
that is a long list.
First thing I want to talk about, Ori and the Blind Forest.
This
You
will-
talked about that. That was your favorite game of last year that you played?
That is like my favorite Xbox One game.
It's the only Xbox.
Okay, fine.
He
fair
played Halo
enough.
5 once.
I played Halo 5 and Batman for like 45 minutes.
Yeah. Anyway, they came out with a definitive edition for it was $20, and I guess I didn't look up what they changed between this and the base game until after I beat this game.
Tell me something. Is there a game plus when you beat it?
I don't think so.
Stupid.
But I unlocked what's the
mean
point
a
of the
new
game
game
plus?
plus?
Oh, to like play
So
the
I
game
can go
with
get
all
the
the
rest of the
abilities.
stuff.
Okay, so-
I can't even go back into the game. I beat it and you can't go back. I can't even go back.
Oh, you can go back in the game,
Oh,
but it takes place like right before the end.
the last
fight.
one. See, on mine, you can't even go back.
Oh, that
It
sucks.
just like saves over it and you can't even click it.
First of all, beautiful game. Probably the best game I've played this year so far. Like gorgeous. The graphics are wonderful.
Yeah.
The story is great. It does that Pixar
Oh,
effect in the
yeah.
first like 10
Oh,
minutes.
man, you're, like,
oh, and this
bawling.
isn't this isn't a spoiler because it's in the trailer. But like the person who raised you, like your mom or whatever, dies in the first like cutscene of the movie. You're like, oh, after they set up and all this stuff, it's just like Pixar. But I looked up a couple of changes. Apparently, you couldn't warp from save point to save point, or like the spirit vessels. Or whatever
Oh
they're
yeah,
called.
you can warp now.
You can warp.
Oh, that's.
And I'm like, how could you not have that before? Like,
just
that would
run
be
around.
Exactly. But this game is hard. They added an easy mode, which is what I played on because I'm more of a story guy. And even then, that was kind of hard. So I couldn't imagine how difficult it was before. Did you beat the game?
Yeah, I beat it.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I beat it.
Yeah, I beat it. I beat it probably like 85%, 90%. I was almost done with everything. but
Yeah, I think it was like.
I thought I could go back and get everything, or I would have done it all before I beat the game. But
Yeah, I got back and like upgraded all the trees. So they added a couple abilities where like there's like a grenade ability now.
oh, that's
A
cool.
couple things integrated with that. It's a couple of changes, but yeah, it's a really good game. I recommend everyone go get it. It's $20 for the definitive edition. If you already bought the original, you can get the definitive edition upgrades for like $5.
And the style of the game, it's like Metroid. You know,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like
So it was like certain areas are unlocked as you get abilities.
Yeah, you get ability, you have to
Right.
go back to that area. But like I said, there's fast travel points, but in the base game, that fast travel doesn't exist. So
You
I
just
imagine
run
that's
it.
really annoying. to
But
have
it's a
to, like, run through.
platformer, right?
It
Yeah.
didn't feel that annoying, to be honest, because there was that's how you can complete so much of the game is because like you keep having to pass things and you're like, oh, I can do that
I guess,
now,
yeah.
and you run back and you go do it. And you know how it is when like you first get introduced into a world, and you're like, this thing is so huge, how am I? And then like by the time you played every aspect, you're like, oh, that's right there. You know what I mean? It's like super small.
You realize
world.
it's one big circle.
Yeah,
it's like,
exactly.
yeah,
That's how
exactly.
it feels when you're done. So
And I like the things in the game where you get a new ability and then the next part is learning how to use that ability, but it doesn't hold your hand on how to use it. So it just gives you like a part of the level where you have to use that ability, so it makes you. But some of those parts, like at the end of each of the temple, you have to escape. Those parts are really hard.
that waterfall part,
Yeah, I think that was the worst one.
that one took me forever.
Yeah, it took me like I don't know, 7 to 10 tries.
7 to 10.
And I'm playing on easy. Remember?
Oh, okay. I was like, that thing took me like 50 tries. Like, no joke. But actually, one of the reasons was because there was this one part where you're supposed to do something different, and I was like, I didn't know that. And I just kept trying what I thought we were supposed to do over and over again. And it,
Do you guys look up
Never
FA,
worked.
like, or not FAQs, or I guess that's, or what are they called, like, game
like walkthroughs and stuff.
walkthroughs? Do you guys ever look up that stuff?
No, I mean it depends. If I'm stuck on something for like hours, yeah, I'll probably look something.
yeah, hours. That's when I decided.
I'll definitely look something up before just quitting the game. If I get
Really?
frustrated, yeah.
See, I get to a point if I can't, I'm just like, nope, I'm done. Like, if it's, I remember I played God of War, I think it was the third one, which was really great, up to probably about 3/4 of the way. Then got stuck, and I was like, don't know what to do. And I thought the game was broken. I looked it up later, and it was like, no, you just go to this way. And I was like, ugh.
I'm an idiot.
Bad
I
game
played
design.
God of War 3. Is that where you fight Zeus at the end?
You fight Zeus in like all of them. It's
Oh,
one
I
of those
haven't
games
played.
where like you start off. Yeah, this mechanic in games.
Start
always-
off with all your powers,
Yeah, and then it
lose
gets-
them all,
and
and
they
then
have
you
to get 'em-
slowly
yeah,
build them
I-
up. Yeah.
It's just like, we're going to show you how cool you're going to be at the end of the game, at the front of the game. It's like, what? Don't do that.
I think that kind of makes sense, though. 'Cause
Nah,
you
I
know
don't
what you're going to get.
They did that in Force Awakens or Force Unleashed. You start off
Yeah.
as Darth Vader, and it's like, oh my gosh, you're throwing Wookiees out of the way, and then then you're just
Then
like,
you're
It's
Ewok.
just
yeah,
apprentice.
exactly. You're like, hey,
Starcrasher goes, zoom.
exactly.
Anyway, guys, I have terrible news. Terrible news.
What's wrong?
I will no longer be wearing my Ducks jersey because we lost.
Yeah, they
We lost in the playoffs.
Anaheim Ducks, by the way.
The Anaheim Ducks.
He's
yeah.
not like a Ducks, like go to the pond fan.
Flying V. No, we lost. Lost to the Predators, and we fired our head coach. So yeah,
And this is after they've won their division, I think, the last 3 straight years. But they,
4.
Yeah, but they can't. Oh, who's counting?
No, but sorry. The last 4 years we've lost Game 7 in the playoffs after being ahead in the series 3-2.
Right.
And that's clearly the coach's fault.
That's what I said.
Well, you got to fire somebody at that.
No, you don't. No, you don't. You go, good job. We'll get him next year. You're getting that
It's kind of
far
like when the
every
Broncos
time.
fired John Fox. It's like, why?
well, they won the Super Bowl, so it worked out for them.
That's the thing. So maybe that's all they need is a coaching change. But yeah, it's very disappointing. Granted, this is like my 2.5 year following hockey and following this team. So, but yeah. So anyway, that happened. What else?
I do like the bright orange jersey that you rock, though. You got
It
to.
has the old Mighty Ducks thing
Yeah,
on the
it's
front. It's
got
their third jersey. I love it. Anyway, Hearthstone, guys. Hearthstone. Remember Hearthstone? You
Yeah, I
played
remember
a little
Hearthstone.
bit? You
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
play because you're a jerk. Or...
No, I played Hearthstone.
You did?
I did.
you
I
still
don't play regularly because I got things to do, but yeah.
They
It's
came out
fun.
with a new expansion called Whispers of the Old Gods. Whispers of the Old Gods. Anyway, I wanted to ask you because you played WoW, right?
Yeah.
Do you know any of these old gods? Do you know of them? There's Cthulhu.
No.
No, is that not the right expansion? I don't know. Anyway, it's 134
You played
cards.
a lot, though.
Yeah.
The story was, I remember we were in class in college, and you brought the laptop and you were playing WoW, and the teacher's like, you can't bring the laptop and play WoW here. He's like, okay. So he's like, didn't come to class.
I stopped coming to class.
That's fine.
Fair enough.
I did what the teacher said. It's like, no, that's not what I meant.
Anyways, go ahead.
It's 134 cards. But the big thing with this expansion is they're kind of doing what they did with Magic the Gathering. Is there's 2 new formats now. There's Standard, which is just the last 2, the newest expansion and the year before it.
Okay.
Those cards are allowed in that format. And then there's Wild, which is everything.
Right.
So it's kind of like, was it Magic? Was it called like Modern?
Yeah, there's
think.
like, if you play in tournaments, you can only play with certain cards, the most current cards, because they want to keep selling cards.
Well, it's not just that, but it keeps the meta fresh. And there are a lot of cards where like they're almost
Balancing.
game breaking, and
Yeah.
yeah, they always want the meta to change.
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
Makes sense. And
Yeah.
sell lots of cards.
And sell cards, yeah.
Don't short sell them on that.
But yeah, it's really good. They added a new thing called different mechanics to the game. One of the old gods, his name is Cthulhu.
Cthulhu.
He has like a big eye. It's kind of cool because there's like what's that game we called? Eldritch Horror.
Elder Tor, yeah.
There's a creature called like Eldritch something. I'm like, it's like calling back to a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, that's cool.
But it's cool because like the Cthulhu mechanic is there's cards you can make a Cthulhu deck. There's cards that like give your Cthulhu +2/+2 wherever he is in the game. So he's slowly building up, and he's a 10 mana cost, so he's like the highest. So when you finally bring him out, he's just the big monster as you slowly build him.
It's an ancient one. Yeah.
Yeah. Really cool game.
How much money have you spent on that?
Huh?
How much money have you
On
spent
this
on
free
that
game.
On the free to play game? Too
Yeah.
much. Doesn't matter.
Sure, it does.
My wife's listening. Doesn't matter. But yeah, really good game. I recommend everyone go play it. Obviously, with the new standard format, it's kind of cool because you don't need all the old cards. You can just get the new stuff. You can kind of get into the game. That's another reason why they introduced us for new players as well.
Yeah.
So you don't have to buy the old packs to be
Sure.
competitive. So.
Sure.
No idea, whatever. So yeah,
Listen,
really
you don't
cool.
have to talk to me. I know all about the collectible card.
Oh, another
nonsense.
thing they introduced that's big in Magic, the cost X mana. They never had that Hearthstone before, but now they have a few spells where like pay whatever mana you have left and do this damage or heal this much.
Yeah, it buffs it depending on how much you cast it for.
Yeah, so that's kind of a first thing to introduce. Anyway, go play it. It's great. Hit me up. JerBear1639 is my Battle.net ID. So yeah, hit me up.
GER Bear.
What else? I got so much stuff.
Wait, you got to talk about Seth MacFarlane. Come on.
I went to go see Seth MacFarlane with the wife last night perform. Do you know Seth MacFarlane sings?
Yeah?
You do?
How do you not know that? Yeah, he's like big Broadway guy.
Yeah, big band.
Yeah.
Like Family Guy.
performer,
He
yeah.
does a lot of singing on Family
Yeah, he
Guy.
does.
So.
Yeah, tons of stuff.
Yeah, but I talked to a couple of my friends at work and they had no idea. But he does big band music, think like
Losers.
Frank Sinatra or any of that kind of stuff. Really great performer. My wife adores him. I am still married.
Thank God.
She didn't leave with him, thank God. But yeah, really good. We checked him out last night. Performed at the Encore Hotel.
You said he
Casino.
does like comedy though in between like the songs, right? Or
Yeah, in between the songs, he did a couple bits. Yeah, it's kind of hard to explain, but yeah, he like mentioned ISIS and like all that stuff.
yeah, he's got
Yeah, pop culture
Oh, you know
jokes and
those
stuff.
funny things about ISIS. It's like, oh, you know, those classic jokes, ISIS.
Just relevant stuff. You
yeah, of
mentioned
course.
Trump, of
well,
course. all
he
that
does
stuff.
Family Guy, so of
Yeah,
course
yeah.
he's gonna have that kind of stuff.
He busted out a couple of the voices, not like full song, but he busted out like, Stewie and Peter and all that.
He's got to, because he knows there's
Gotta
like a
rise out of the
certain level
crowd.
of people in the audience that are just there because it said Family Guy. His
Well, I'm
name.
surprised because like it's big band music. Normally, it's older people like that music, but like, everyone in this crowd, it was a packed theater, all sorts of ages and races and
That's
all this
cool.
kind of stuff. So yeah, it kind of appeals to everyone, which is it's neat.
Are the
good
songs
music.
funny? I would imagine
well, he
him
sings
being,
like classic big band stuff. So no.
Oh, so he's just singing. Okay, I didn't know if he was
Doing like parodies.
Yeah, well, like South Park guys, like they did like the Book of Mormon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Like,
Yeah, definitely
it's
not that.
funny.
It's not original, right? It's all old stuff, right? He's just kind of
Yeah, all of the songs he did were like referencing people who written or songs that Frank Sinatra or Dean Martin sung and stuff like that.
That's super cool. Now, is he doing is it just a couple shows here, or is he touring? Do you know?
Just last night and tonight, as far as I know, in Vegas. But I think he's doing, this is the first time where I think he's going city to city.
Is that
don't quote me on that. But
the Mirage?
no, the Encore.
Oh, okay. I know the Mirage does a bunch of like comedy stuff, so I didn't know if he actually does stand up.
No, just the bits in between the songs. I don't think he does stand up now.
That's good.
Yeah, really cool. Go check it out. And
What else you doing, buddy?
Am I reading
Oh.
on there that you said Raiders are coming to Vegas?
Yes, this is the last thing I want to talk about. We are obviously from Las Vegas. Big news came out that the owner of the Raiders put up $500 million toward the cost of a new stadium here to move his team to
How
Vegas.
much is the stadium?
Well, okay, so here's the thing.
Good question.
That could mean nothing if it dropped that.
So here-
$1 trillion stadium. I got 500 on it.
Yeah. So here's the
I got
details.
five
It's a
on it.
$1.33 billion stadium project by McCarran Airport. He said he pledged $500 million, and he's partnering with the guy who owns the Sands Group.
Yeah.
And they're going to put forward $150 million, so $650 total, and then the rest of the money is
Comes from
supposedly. Well, this is what they said. It's supposedly going to come from a new law that they want to pass, a proposed hotel tax. So
Oh, yeah.
tourists will
Sure.
pay for it, but that's only if it passes. What do you guys feel about this?
I'm all for a football team. That's awesome. Now,
I wish
don't
it
care if we
wasn't
pay
the
for it?
Raiders, though.
That's a good
I don't
point.
want the Raiders.
I just
Well,
tend
it's
to
not
think,
going to be a good team. It's going to be.
I'd take the Jaguars.
I actually think the Raiders are not going to be a bad team this year. But to be perfectly honest, I think they'll actually be a pretty decent team. I think they'll at least win 8 games. So, but they're not going to come here for what, maybe a year or two?
Yeah, well, this isn't even like confirmed. That's just,
Well,
he's
he said
just raising interest for it.
Well, he said he's going to do it. But he has to. I think you have to get a sign off by all the owners of the league to move your team.
Mm-hmm.
Like everybody has to sign off on it, which is so weird.
Yeah.
The NFL is such a weird, like, they all share. It's all profit sharing. It's very weird. Owning a team has got to be a strange phenomenon. Because like,
it wouldn't be that weird.
because
Rich.
Yeah, that's like white
No,
My
people.
job is so hard. I'm a freaking
Right.
billionaire.
No, because you have teams that like, okay, so you have teams that are always lucrative and always popular and always make money, and then you have teams that spend a lot of money on players, personnel, or whatever, and don't do well, and then you have teams that tank and they probably end up making more money, even though they're a worse off record because they don't spend any money.
Yeah.
I know a lot of like the bargaining is to raise the floor of how much a minimum, because it's like $350,000, which is like, man,
For a team? Or
for a player.
Oh, okay.
They raised that up and then they lowered the ceiling or something like that. They're always working on that stuff. But I would be excited to have the Raiders here. I don't care who it is. I don't,
As a Chargers fan, I absolutely hate this.
Right.
As a
Yeah.
Las Vegas resident, I absolutely hate this if we have to pay for it.
yeah, well, at some
We're
point.
gonna
Well,
have to
we're going to
pay
have to pay
for
for it. Some
The
some
owner
measure.
said we want to turn the silver state into a silver and black state, and I threw up in my mouth.
Right.
I saw a billboard coming home the other day. It says "Viva Las Raiders."
That's cool.
I was like, ugh. Yeah, I hate this idea. If we have to pay for it, if we don't have to pay for it, it still sucks because no offense, I don't like Raider Nation and that culture and all that
Yeah,
kind of
that's
stuff.
my problem
I think that's
too.
the minority, not the majority.
I don't think that
Nah,
a
I
lot of
disagree.
people who are Raiders fans, I don't even think are football fans. They just like the pirate or whatever. I just think they like being Raider.
Or stabbing people. Anyway, but yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to have a pro team here. I mean, there's already interest in bringing an NHL team here. Hopefully that should be announced this year after the playoffs end. There's already a stadium here. T-Mobile Stadium's already here and built out and
That got
already
built
open.
so fast.
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
I think it opened. Their Killers were their first concert, I think, 2 weeks ago.
You know them, don't you?
I met them.
You know them.
It's
Come
on your phone. Call him up.
Dave Kooning. I went to his house. It was pretty cool.
Nice.
Lead
Yeah.
singer, right?
No, he's the lead guitarist, but I played on his guitars and stuff. I
Hey, so
fought
you-
him with a lightsaber. It
While he
awesome.
was like big, or this
Yeah,
was before-
Yeah, they were pretty big,
Yeah,
that's cool.
it was cool. I was like, I can't believe I'm battling Dave Kooning with a lightsaber right now.
How'd you get to do that?
He bought stuff from my store, and then I went out to his house and
To install it, yeah.
Oh, both.
Yeah. So then I was just like, I wasn't even supposed to go out to his house, but I was like, I got it.
It's like, we have to install this. You're just a sales guy, right? No, I'm installing it too.
Just give me a call anytime, man. So yeah, I went out there. We were just like hanging out, and he let me play on some of his guitars. And then he was like, "Yeah, I got these lightsabers. They were like super cool lightsabers." I was like, "Oh my god!" I was like, "Battle right now!"
Such a
Don't you have
rock,
to be back at a store? No, don't worry
Don't worry
Just
about
play
it.
lightsabers.
And so we battled with lightsabers.
it's such a
and,
rock star
yeah,
thing to do.
It was super cool.
Very cool.
I was pretty excited.
So yeah, we're split on that issue, I guess, for bringing the Raiders here. Anyway, I think that's all on my long list. David, what you doing?
Good toss there. You didn't even make me wait.
Nope.
Okay, so this is going to come out on Monday, obviously. But today is Saturday, and it is International Tabletop Day. Get excited.
That's every Saturday at the Bray household.
That's every day at the Bray house. What are you talking about? These Kickstarter videos don't make themselves.
That's right. Speaking of, good segue. No. So basically, I'm still playing a bunch of board games. I played a bunch today too. As I don't know if you watched the videos, but me and Alyssa reviewed a 2-player board game. We review a bunch of those because those are the stuff that we end up playing the most. We played this game, Rose King, which she bought me for my birthday. Awesome birthday gift, by the way.
Huh?
She choked him. It's pretty cool.
In the video, yeah.
Awesome.
By the way, yeah, she was a little too excited when I was like, okay, in this video at the beginning, you're going to kind of come in and attack. She's like, okay.
Let's do it right now. Let's do it.
Like, no.
Like,
Take
just
a
for
step
play.
back.
It's just fake. No, okay.
No, but it's a really great game. It's the same guys that make Tumult Royale and Legends of Andor. So same
Those
company
are good
that's
games.
publishing games. Yeah.
We like Cosmos, yeah.
Yeah, Thames of Cosmos. So yeah, excellent game. You can check out the video. I'll put a link in here. But I also checked out a couple other Kickstarter games, which I'm always doing. We checked out a game called Vivarium, which is what is that called? Area Control, which you're a big fan of. He loves the war games. Area Control, we're in deck building. So it's kind of these two things that normally don't kind of fit together in most games. But you're a bunch of different species in a vivarium, like a biosphere, and you're trying to compete. So you get to be like a tiger, or a bear, or you can even be humans, or there's all different anacondas, and each of them have their own special abilities and weaknesses. So like wolves get buffed when they fight together. But when they can only stay in certain packs. So like this wolf pack can't mess with this wolf pack, or if you're a tiger, you can move into the grasslands more quickly. But if you don't have territory over so much territory, you get a negative.
If you're human, can you just have a gun and just shoot all the animals? Darn, humans always win, yeah.
One of the things that's funny, so you have a whole thing where you're trying to procreate and make more,
nice.
And all the animals, all of the animals have to procreate in a certain time of the year, like bears in winter and things like that. But humans can procreate anytime. We're
Nice.
Yeah.
Anytime, any place.
So really cool game. Check that out. We did a video of that. It's like I said, the deck building part's kind of it's different than like a traditional deck building game where like Dominion, you play the cards, and then if you can't use it, you lose it. In this game, you can actually save up like your currency, which is kind of different and unique. So very cool game, great artwork. The second one we checked out was today. We were playing a game called Cavern Tavern, where you are playing a server in the tavern that is in this deep cave, where everyone who's warring in the realms comes to this place, and they all, it's like Cheers. Everyone knows your name and no one fights. And you're the server, and your boss is like a complete dick. And so, it's like, Lords of Waterdeep. You have to take orders, like drink orders from people. And you have to get ingredients to fill them, just like Lords of Waterdeep. And then you have the boss is called, Nasty the Dwarf. That's what.
Well, no reason why he's a dick. That's the reason why he's a dick.
Yeah,
His name's
exactly.
Nasty.
But the cards you get from
Which came first, the name or the attitude?
Yeah, if I got called Nasty the Dwarf, I wouldn't be very nice either. Hey, no, but when you get there's certain cards you can play on other people that are kind of like forced missions in Lords of Waterdeep that you have to complete before you get. So
you have to make this drink kind of thing.
Yeah, so it's a lot of take that, but it's got a really good worker placement. You use dice though, so you roll dice, and then whatever dice you roll, you can only go to certain places, or you can sum up your dice and use multiple dice to try to trigger an effect that you would do with like instead of a 7, or instead of a 6, you can use 2 3s or something like that. Very, very cool. Again, great artwork. It amazes me that I don't know, maybe just Kickstarter is just more of an avenue for people to publish it themselves, or smaller publishers. But I'm like, how are the bigger game companies not picking up on these games? These are good games.
I'm sure they are. Because
there's plenty of games I play, because again, I buy too much.
Has a problem.
I buy games because I'm like, oh, look at that, looks great, and then I play it. And I'm like, how? Like, there's problems with this, games that are from big publishers, and it's like, I don't understand how.
Can't all be winners, man.
I know, but it just again.
Your standards are super high at this point as
Yeah.
well.
I'm sure it's more expensive to buy somebody out of their game than just to develop in-house. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know a lot of the big game companies now hire like artists and stuff like that they just actually, you're going to work for us, because again, it's a licensing issue, right? Because if you hire artists and things like that, I think a lot of the times you end up buying like the image for a particular amount of prints.
Yeah.
And then at some point, then you have to repay them. And I'm sure that's a great deal, because once the game gets really big and you're like, oh, I'd like to print, 10,000 more copies. They're like, yeah, you would. So that's what I was checking out. Mostly just playing board games. Again, board games are awesome. I can't stress this enough because I've introduced it to people that are always like very like timid and shy about it. Like, I don't know. There are so many new, unique, different board games that
Board game for everybody.
there really is. Like, it's crazy.
I was at Target, and I saw these, like, there's a retro game section, and it's got like all the old games like Monopoly and Sorry.
Candyland and stuff.
And the way they designed the boxes is to have this like retro feel of like it's from like the 60s or the 70s or
Like the
something.
big wooden boxes almost.
Like when we were kids, we would see like the old games and that were retro games back then. I'm like, I wonder if they only made the boxes look like that because they're supposed to be retro back then.
Well, Monopoly's
Or
from like
were
the
they
20s and
retro?
30s, I think. I'm pretty sure it came out after the Great Depression, which is kind of a sad thing. Like we're going to make a game about losing all your money and all your property.
And the man taking it all. Sounds like an awesome game.
But yeah, I think a lot of those games were like old, even when we were kids. Mousetrap was the only thing that was new. And like we said, we only get to play that one time perfect, and then you
Before
lose
you
all
lose
the
the
pieces.
pieces, yeah.
I never got that one time.
I know. I'm sorry. One day I'll buy Mousetrap just for you, buddy.
We should do a Let's Play of Mousetrap. That'd be fun.
I want to build it myself, like make it out of our own
What is
stuff.
it called? That it's called a contraption. It's named
Rube
after.
Goldberg machine.
There you go. See, details guy.
Man, that was good. What is it again?
Rube Goldberg machine.
It's like where the pebble or the marble hits something and then
I think Goonies. Open the gate.
Right.
I was always
Just walk and open the gate. How hard is that?
We should
Get a
just-
string.
We need to just go to Home Depot and just make something fun.
Yeah, we should. All right. Well, that's what I was doing. Let's move into our topic of the week. We had to bring Jordan back for this, although I'm pretty upset that you weren't here for our
The
childhood
top cartoon ones. Did you recap for me? I sent you all my
yeah,
stuff.
actually, we did, and we talked even about Dragon Ball Z.
Dragon Ball Z is the greatest cartoon in the world.
Okay, but beside that, we're going to talk about superheroes. This is going to be our top 5 superhero movies. Okay? Mm-hmm. First things first, let's talk about how we either created the list or what we were looking at, because that's always interesting and fun and exciting. Jordan, how did you come up with the list other than just having it in your head like a steel trap?
Yeah.
Jordan's such the preparer.
Right.
3 weeks of thinking about this.
Probably the way I pulled it together was
Thought about it?
think no memories. Like what do I remember the best? Like there's like key points in my life where I love these movies so
Right.
much, watched them over and over and over and over again. So yeah, basically that.
Okay.
Yeah, mine's kind of the same thing where it's like it's not just the best rated movie. It's not even that. It's just what do I enjoy watching. So like my number 1 or 2 or whatever. My number 2 is probably
Yeah, we know.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We'll
yeah,
get
we
to
know.
it. I
But,
think there's going to be some crossover here. But
yeah, but there's definitely like movies on my list that may not be the highest rated like critic wise, but I just enjoy it so much. That's why it's on my list.
Okay, for me, it's kind of a combination of what you're both. I enjoy. I could watch any of these movies again. There's some that I probably wouldn't watch again. It's kind of like you're talking about. Like the experience I had with it was good, and I kind of don't want to taint it with like watching it again in a different atmosphere. But some of them that I picked are kind of critically acclaimed. I think most of them probably are good movies objectively, but
I feel weird because like none of mine are older movies. All of mine are relatively new because there's
well, there's so many. I think the bar generally for superhero movies,
way
like
higher
when we were younger, it was not. I mean, they were considered kind of the B movie, right? And now they're like the AAA. You're getting Benedict Cumberbatch to be in your freaking superhero movie. Are you kidding me? By the way, did you
For
see
a
that
freaking
trailer?
Yes, I did. It's so good. I
know.
can't wait to see that.
Oh,
cannot wait.
If we're gonna talk about that, quick question: what do you guys think of the Ancient One casting? Because isn't it supposed to be like an Asian person?
I don't care.
Yeah, it was. And
A lot of people- it's kind of
supposed to be
big
a
uproar
dude,
right now.
Too, but,
Oh, yeah.
but I don't think it's that big
I
a
mean,
deal.
one,
Who
Tilda
cares?
Swinton already kind of looks like a dude.
Yeah, I agreed.
Second, she's already really weird.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. The name's Ancient One. Like, who cares? You
It's
look
like, yeah.
old. You do. Who cares?
As long as Galactus isn't a cloud anymore, and
Yeah, I don't think that's going to majorly impact the movie at all.
no, not at all.
Cool.
Okay, so let's start. Number 5. Do you want me to go? I never get to go first. I'll go first.
All right, go first, David.
Thanks.
It's all about David.
All right, my number 5 is Deadpool. Deadpool is my number 5 movie. I don't know if you've seen this yet, Jordan.
I didn't.
I have not seen it. Me and Gerald
Frustrating.
saw.
Are you serious?
Frustratingly, have not seen it.
I'll just give you. I have it on Plex, dude.
Okay,
Oh,
so
really?
so it's
Awesome.
it's a fantastic movie. I think what I enjoy about this movie is kind of the time I saw it, because I saw this right before seeing Batman versus Superman. And I know Batman versus Superman didn't know what was in this movie, but I bet they wish they did, because there's a lot of things that they specifically do in Batman versus Superman that they directly make fun of in Deadpool, like spot on. Like the first time you see Superman, they make fun of the first time you usually see a superhero in a movie, and he does exactly what Deadpool makes fun of. The thing about that movie, though, with Ryan Reynolds, is it's kind of a bend don't break. For some reason, I mean, he's playing Van Wilder. You know what I mean? Like, he's a Van Wilder, the superhero. But
write that down.
But he's so good at it, and it's weird because it's obviously, you know, completely slapstick, but it feels genuine. Like I know he really loves.
Yeah, he's definitely passionate about this character, and he was involved a lot in making this movie.
No, I know, and that's why I think generally I enjoyed it as much as I did. It felt
until he had fun.
He had so much fun making that movie. Like, I can imagine they were like, oh, that didn't work. He's like, that's okay. We can do it again. I don't have a problem. Like, let's do it. And I guarantee, I can't imagine there's so many shots in that movie. Like, I want to see the outtakes reel. Cause there's got to be a ton of times when everyone else is just like, cause he gets right in their face and he says something ridiculous and they don't laugh. And it's just like, man, good job. Cause that would have taken me 3 or 4 takes. But the CGI isn't over the top. The violence is obviously way off the Richter scale. But there's so many just awesome jokes. There's jokes where it's like,
it's pegging.
It's Meg.
When are you going to see that in a superhero movie?
Yeah, exactly. And there's like a part where he's like, hey, there's a guy over there that wants to talk to you. He's like, what is it about? He's like, I don't know. It'll probably move the plot along. Like,
there's a lot of like meta jokes, and I love that kind of humor.
Yeah, it's so great. And it's done to a point where it doesn't outstay its welcome. A lot of movies like that are kind of making fun of the genre outstay their welcome and are just, ugh, you know, you're trying too hard. This movie, and I'm so excited for the second one, and I love that what he was doing on iTunes when it came out on the digital version.
By the way, they have a 2-week exclusive. The Blu-ray doesn't even come out for another 2 weeks, which is actually really good for Apple.
But they have like all the other movies that you can, like Alien 3. Like, so his movie's like Deadpool, click this to rent it or buy it. And then next to it's like Alien 3, and it has like a alien coming out of a chimichanga, and he's behind it like, like they actually put him in the promotion of other, because it's Fox.
They don't say anything with him in the radio and stuff. Yeah.
So again, they do it. Fox did an amazing job of marketing it too. So
definitely.
That's my number 5.
How do you think they did it when he's in the costume and they're shooting the movie? Do you think it was always him in the costume?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
He said, like, in a tweet or something, like, he took the costume home when they were done filming.
No, I heard about that too. But I mean, I'm just thinking, like, if you're paying, I mean, why wouldn't you just have somebody else? I mean, you could just have him when the mask's off. You don't really need him all the time.
I'm sure I don't know if is it an actual mask, or is he wearing like a green mask and they just green skin it?
Some of it is CG, but some of it is an actual mask and stuff.
Are they limited to green now?
Can they
I feel like
it's green or blue, I think, yeah.
I feel like we've moved beyond that.
We don't
Which is
really
odd colors that they can easily keystone out of soon, so.
All right, so what's your number 5, Gerald?
Well, knowing me and lists, these list episodes, we do have some honorable mentions.
Yeah, go ahead.
Deadpool was one of my honorable mentions.
Okay.
Excellent movie, obviously, David just said. Guardians of the Galaxy, honorable mention. I just like, me...
That was my honorable mention, too.
Yeah, Killer for me are like...
Not on my list
funny,
either,
I want
which is weird.
funny movie. Like, I don't want super serious Batman vs. Superman garbage. Give me some humor in this movie. I know it's a superhero movie, it's supposed to be dark and gritty, but like, give me some humor.
I think Guardians of the Galaxy would probably be my number 6. And it depending on the day you ask me, it could switch, because Deadpool and Guardians of the Galaxy kind of share that space of like slapstick. I'm interested to see, you know, that crew move into the Infinity Gauntlet, because they're going to be in Infinity Gauntlet, right?
That's the rumor.
Oh, I can't wait.
I heard Star-Lord's supposed to be in like one of the next Avengers movies or something like that.
It's going to be awesome.
Yeah,
okay.
Infinity War. Anyway, my number 5 is Iron Man.
The original.
What? No, RDJ, yeah. The first Iron Man.
Yeah, the first
Not
Iron Man.
Iron Man 2 or 3. Iron Man 1.
Yeah, Iron Man. Obviously, not counting... Well, it came first before Hulk, or Hulk came first in
Iron
the
Man
MCU?
came first,
okay.
and then Hulk
It started this MCU, which
Hulk are you talking about? I know which one you're talking about. Go ahead.
It obviously started the MCU. The MCU is fantastic. Everything is cohesive, and it just started everything. It started the tone of all these movies. It started the tone of the humor, even though it's a super serious situation. He's funny. RDJ is the perfect casting from Tony Stark.
I'm pretty sure he thinks
nobody can
Tony
replace
Stark.
him. They have to kill him off, because who else can replace? Who
They'll
else can be
find
Tony
somebody.
Stark?
They'll find somebody.
No way.
Do you think they'll do like a young Avengers?
Probably, like they do with X-Men.
Yeah.
Honestly, after Infinity War, I don't know what they're gonna do.
Because they can go like time travel. They could just, that's the easy.
Well, but
easy
you could do
subplot.
Young Avengers, which was actually, there is a Young
Right.
Avengers, so that's not like they have to pull it out of something. And then by the time Young Avengers is done, then they could just reboot the whole thing. Start with find someone else.
I don't know. It's just a perfect movie.
It's weird
it's
to
an
see.
origin story. It's it's funny. It's a great story. The villain is
Ironmonger.
Yeah, that was my problem with that.
Yeah, the villain is meh, but I'd prefer a smaller time villain like that than like something like Ultron, where he's this super big badass and he dies, by the end of the movie. I don't like that.
Ultron never dies.
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree with you that the smaller villain's good. I hate I know I've complained about this before, but just like Iron Man's fighting another Iron Man.
Right,
it's just
right.
annoying to me. Like, so not creative.
No, I think what I enjoy about that movie is it's the thing we talk about with all the origin movies. The funnest thing about an origin movie is watching them struggle through learning their powers. His whole thing where he's like his robot keeps hitting him with the fire extinguisher,
right.
and he's like, "I will turn you into a scrap part" or whatever. And then the part when he's talking to Rhodey, and he's like, "Are you in the car?" And he's like, "Yeah, I have the top down." And he's like, "We just got a bogey out on." It's like all of those are fantastic scenes. Now the thing about Iron Man, I've seen that movie a billion times because again, working at Bose, we used to show that as a
was that
demo.
another one of the
big demo
cycles? Yeah.
Any big action movies basically becomes part of that cycle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I really enjoyed it, but I don't think it was interesting to have who's the bad guy? It's the dude. Jeff Bridges. It was weird to have him as the bad guy. For me, I mean, he's the dude. It's weird to be like, hey man, chill out. You're the dude. What are you doing, man?
Peed on my rug.
Exactly. All right.
You know what else that movie shows a slight flaw in like the way they just go through stuff is when he shows up to all the terrorists and they've all got hostages and he just shoots them all dead in like 2 seconds. First of all, you're a superhero. You're not supposed to kill people. Second of all, like if you could do that, like why are you even fighting anybody ever? You just you could just immediately kill them. Like I don't know.
But the scene in the movie where like he dodges the tank thing and then shoots a tiny little bullet and then explodes. He walks away and explodes it back.
Yeah, that was great.
Doesn't have awesome music too. It's
like Jana. I think it's Iron Man.
Yeah, I think it is Iron Man.
But he's obviously going to be in the new Spider-Man Homecoming movie.
Awesome.
He's confirmed to be in that. And then he said in an interview during the press junket, the press stuff they're doing for Civil War, as he is open to doing a 4th Iron Man movie.
Good.
I don't know. Every time he says he'll do a movie, he's like, "This is my last time as Iron Man." But then he just
That's
says,
how they do it.
stuff
That's
like
how they do it.
That's like the last tour of Kiss, Like,
This is it. This is it.
Got to see it before they hang it up.
I mean, he was the highest paid actor last year,
And the
other
year
than
before that.
Ultron, what was he in?
I think he was in a movie with
that lawyer
Sutherland.
movie.
Yeah, the judge.
Yeah.
Where his dad was.
Which it's all Ultron, right? It's all Marvel
Ultron
movies.
shows up as the
Always-
judge. No, I was going to say something about Robert Downey Jr. It's interesting to see him 10 years ago, or even 15 years ago now, and then now. I mean, like, he was, like, waiting for Robert Downey Jr. news, overdose. Like, the dude was the Charlie Sheen of Charlie Sheens, you know what I mean? And now he's, like, signing autographs for little kids. Like, talk about a transformation of a single role. But again, I'm pretty sure he literally thinks he's Tony Stark.
He is Tony Stark.
Like, when...
He probably takes
like
the
even
suit
him
home
in
too.
interviews and stuff, and like his dynamic between him and Chris Evans and stuff for Civil War.
Oh my God,
they do
it's
that
so good.
Yeah, their character back and forth is just great.
I can't wait for Civil War. By the way, we'll be doing a spoiler
Next week.
cast. Don't worry. We already
so
got our
excited.
tickets. So excited.
Oh, that's right. Is that on Friday?
Yeah.
Okay.
Saturday
Saturday night. Then we'll come here.
That's bad news. I thought you said Friday night.
Saturday night.
Figure it out.
Well, there's not figuring it out.
Oh, okay.
I'm out of town.
Oh, great. Okay, Jordan.
Cool.
There's no figuring it out.
All right.
Anyway, what is your number 5, you jerk?
Blade.
Ah!
Wesley Snipes' Blade from like 1997.
Whistler? Isn't that the
Yeah, Whistler.
Another Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds. Yeah, he was in the second one.
He was in Trinity. He was in the third
Again
one.
playing
That
Van
was
Wilder.
the third one. Yeah, no, he always plays. I think he's just playing him, and Van Wilder is him.
Right.
Well, he does movies where he's more serious, and they're just always bad movies.
No, they are. Yeah.
But yeah, no, Blade was like the first real. I mean, there were superhero movies in like the 80s and stuff, but it was like a newer, dark, cool superhero
Rated
movie.
R type thing.
Rated R, yeah.
I don't know if it was rated R, but it felt rated
I'm
R.
sure it was
sure it was
rated
rated
R.
R.
Really?
Yeah. From start to finish, Wesley Snipes was just a complete badass.
Yeah, he is.
Just a complete badass.
Yeah, he is.
His weapons
Barely
were
talks,
awesome.
right?
His haircut was awesome.
Yeah, it was.
Like all of it was so cool. The opening scene in that movie where they're like, do that, they introduce this like character who's getting taken into the vampire lair party, and blood starts coming out of the sprinkler system, and then Blade shows up and just starts dicing
Slicing
fools.
people up, yeah.
Super awesome
Yeah.
sword. It was those. I liked all the movies actually. I mean, they got really crazy on the second and third.
See,
I didn't watch the fourth
I was
one.
hoping, obviously with the Nick Cage Ghost Rider, I was hoping they were going to do something with that, but obviously Nick Cage, like any good Nick Cage movie, ran it right into the ground.
Yeah, that was a really bad movie.
Yeah, I know.
Ghost Rider
We should have
anyone's
done
list?
worst superhero movie lists too.
We'll do that. We'll do that.
I
That
don't
would
have
be
to
funny.
watch them. Ugh.
Yeah.
No, but I was hoping, because I think they have a lot of crossover in the in the comic book. I'm pretty sure they do.
I'm not sure.
Oh, between Blade and Ghost Rider?
I think so. I
know-
thought so. I remember reading comics as a kid. That
I
they crossed
remember my
There's
introduction.
always
to,
crossovers with other characters.
Yeah.
That's
at some point.
my introduction to Blade was in Spider-Man because like Morbius is Blade's brother,
Right.
half brother.
You're talking about the 90s cartoon.
The 90s cartoon, exactly.
We talked about this.
And that's like everyone's introduction to Spider-Man RH, right?
yeah. Right.
So yeah, but anyways, Blade. I think that might have been like my second rated R movie. I actually got to
The first
watch or
one was
something like that.
was the Waterworld.
No, Will Smith. No, I saw that one on TV.
That was his first like boobies. I think is what he said.
Ass.
First butt. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Lady butt.
What was it?
Score, man.
What was the movie with Will Smith and the Enemy of the State?
Yeah.
That was my first in theater
And then Blade.
rated R movie, and then I think
What a,
Blade.
like that's like the worst first rated R. Mine was The Rock. At least that's like
That
a
is-
cool ass
Hey,
movie.
I love Will Smith. Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
exactly.
We didn't ever do a Will Smith episode.
We'll do that.
Oh god.
I think we did one that was like it.
It was the alien one. All the way top of
Every
the
movie.
So, anyways, with Blade,
Anyways.
are they ever gonna? Is he reprising his role at any point? Because who owns that?
Why
Who
not?
owns the rights to that? Do you think? I would think at this point it's got to revert back to Marvel. That's usually the
Because they
deal.
haven't done one in a long time.
Because they haven't done anything Blade related, like at all.
They had like a.
It's a
fourth
cool character.
one
It's a
with-
daywalker vampire. Like they got just make him turn into diamonds, and I'm
His
sure kids will go
weapons
see
were
it.
so
the vampire
cool.
fad is over now, isn't it? All that movies are over. All the vampire fad's over.
That's
you, missed,
true.
you missed the boat.
Where
it's
you?
all zombies now. We
Yeah.
moved on from
Zombies have
vampires
always been around,
to
man.
zombies. Nah.
No, but I think they said vampires are still, even now, are in more pop culture movies than any other like trope. Still,
I don't think anymore. Maybe like 2 years ago.
Yeah, that was so 2014.
Yeah.
Get with the
I
times,
know.
man.
All right.
But yeah, so anyways, Blade number 5.
Number 5. All right, let's move to number 4. Let's move around. Gerald, what's your number 4?
X-Men First Class.
Excellent movie.
Love
pun
the
intended.
X-Men movie, the very first one. Really solid. It narrowly beat it out for that. I gotta put an X-Men movie on here because I freaking love X-Men. But yeah, X-Men First Class did a really good job rebooting that universe, and obviously
Fixed
the movie
everything.
that followed fixed everything with the universe.
Thank you, Bryan
um,
Singer.
Yeah, it's kind of cool how they kept the continuity of the old movies, because it's not just a reboot; it's
Yeah.
following those. Really excited for Apocalypse this summer. Oh, really excited for that movie. New trailer dropped. I don't know if you
Yeah, I
saw it.
watched it. Looks good. I enjoyed First Class because I always enjoy the timepieces. You know, when they shoot it like it's supposed to be in the 60s and 70s. I love that. I absolutely love that. So again, another movie where they're showing the origins of the character when they're in that one scene and they're trying to like show off each other's characters, and then she comes in and like the room's on fire, the glass is all broken, and they're like having a great time, and it's like, what are you doing? We're at the FBI, like, or the CIA or whatever. Like, you can't do this.
Yeah.
The ending of that movie is brutal with Kevin Bacon and
All the
the
missiles
coin.
and stuff?
No, the coin.
Oh, going through his head.
Oh my
yeah.
gosh!
But just Magneto's story, how they kept the intro from the first X-Men,
Yeah.
and how they
Been the-
kept that, and
yeah.
that was so cool how they did that. And just
Wunderbar.
his character, and Michael Fassbender is perfect as Magneto.
Yeah.
James McAvoy, on
Really?
the whole. Maybe he'll be better bald, but
You think that's what's holding him back? The
just
hair?
kind of meh as a Professor X compared to Patrick Stewart.
I love. There was I think that's in First Class when she meets Mystique meets Magneto's character and turns into what's her name? Stamos's. Rebecca remains Stamos, and she's like, "What about this?" And he's like, "No, just turn back to your normal." Like that.
That was a cool little dig
yeah.
to fans.
And
yeah.
that's the thing that movie does a good job of. Well, one, it's the same studio, so they have the ability to pull from all that stuff. Where I think sometimes movies that kind of reboot or something, they somehow the rights revert back to other people, so they can't really make references.
Mm-hmm.
That movie, awesome.
The only thing I'm worried about Apocalypse is they're kind of making, at least in the last trailer, they're making Mystique to be the leader and not necessarily Professor X. I'm really worried about that because I don't know. Mystique was she's bad, kind of, right?
Yeah,
She kinda turned bad.
well, I mean, she goes back and forth.
She's the anti-hero.
And it's
Yeah,
almost
but
like
she's
they're
like-
selling
she's
on
bad,
the
though.
Jennifer Lawrence popularity.
Yeah, J Law, what's up, girl? You don't
I
like
don't know.
Jennifer Lawrence? She's
No,
awesome.
I think it's cool. I'm over it. I'm over Jennifer Lawrence, and like with all the freaking Mockingjay and whatever they're called, Hunger Game movies are over. It just seems
is
like
it?
they're just they.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm over her. Anyway,
I think what they'll do though is they're gonna have a build, and then there's a separation because Mystique goes with Magneto and
Yeah.
becomes like his
Yeah.
right hand man or right hand girl or whatever, and then Professor X steps up and becomes the leader of this X-Men. So I think it'll
Maybe that's
be
what they're
like
going
this lead where she's. And then he's going to take over.
Right.
And then that'll probably cause the separation that, separates the two. So
I'm interested in how that's going to lead from Apocalypse to technically the first X-Men movie in story, because Storm is technically one of the Yeah, we're kind of getting off track. But.
Yeah, I think
Right. No, I know. But I mean, going back to First Class, I think you can... here's the thing. I don't know. With continuity and the whole time travel thing that they've done at this point, like, just, who cares? Just make a good movie. Make an enjoyable, fun popcorn movie. Like, don't worry about it. Like...
No, I'm one of those people
I
who
know
worry
you are.
about the canon, man. I care about that kind of
That
stuff.
doesn't make sense. She just doesn't look anything like...
Exactly.
the other
Come
thing that's
on.
going to be is awesome is the Four Horsemen. It looks like it's Magneto, Archangel, Storm, and then Psylocke.
Psylocke, yeah.
Well,
I don't know how
mine.
Psylocke got into that cool team, but Archangel, Storm, Magneto, that is a force to reckon with.
Yeah, it
like,
is.
that is crazy. Plus, they're giving Archangel his like missile wings. Like, I cannot wait to see that on
Yeah,
the screen.
Psylocke.
Psylocke's kind of hot, but
What's up, girl?
I used to play as Psylocke on the game, the fighting game.
yeah.
She was awesome. Very quick, very Chung-Li.
yeah, girls are faster. But I don't know. She makes like, mind swords and stuff. Whatever. I'm just saying.
Does she have like mind? Like, can she control?
Nah, I think it's mostly like she creates like
She chopped the car in half in the trailer. That
That
was
looks
kinda
cool.
Right, but you got a guy who can control all metal and a person that controls the weather and a guy who shoots missiles out of his wings while he's flying around. And then she's like, "Oh, I got a dagger. I made this dagger with my mind."
She's gonna be like the Black Widow of that.
Yeah,
I got a gun, guys.
There's so much cooler people to pick from than Psylocke, but she's hot, so I get
Hey,
it.
there
But
you go.
I'm just saying,
right.
she scored with that team she got put on.
Yeah. So anyway, what's your number 4, David?
My number 4, kind of a strange one, is Batman Under the Red Hood, the animated movie.
Yeah.
Great.
Digging deep.
Hey, no,
Yeah,
no,
I'm like,
I went to all the animated movies. I love the WB animated movies. If you don't watch the animated movies, first of all, shame on you. And then 2, go see this movie.
Shame.
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 This is a fantastic movie. It's the story of death in a family. It takes kind of that, and then there's a new character. It's just so good. And there's a whole, they always put Batman in that position of why don't you kill? This movie does that better than I think even in a movie that we'll talk about later. This does a better job because it talks about death in the family with Robin. Spoiler alert, Robin shows up later. He's not actually dead. He's been like transformed into somebody else. And so there's a point in the end of the movie, again, spoiler alert, where he's like going to kill the Joker who killed him. And he's like, and he points a gun at the Joker and he's like, Batman, you either have to kill me or you have to kill him. Cause first of all, why did you let him live after what he did to me? Like, what's wrong with you? And that's the thing is like, we got to talk about with Batman versus Superman. Like, this is the scene that needed to be in Batman versus Superman. Cause you're like, yeah, Batman, kill him. Like,
Yeah,
kill
that's
the Joker.
the one scene that.
I know. But the animation in this is great. What's interesting is it's not Mark Hamill as Joker. It's John DiMaggio who does Bender's voice.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
but he does
cool.
a good job as Joker. Like, he actually does a really interesting job. But it's really cool because the Red Hood, the guy who's the Red Hood, is Robin, and he's
Todd,
like,
right?
yeah, it's Jason Todd, and Batman's trying to like, he's a vigilante, but he's killing everybody, like taking out everybody. And Batman's like, can't do that, and so he's trying to fight him, and like he knows all of Batman's moves, and he's like one step ahead, and he's like, how the heck, like, who is this guy? He's on, he knows how to do this, he knows this fighting style, and then eventually you piece it together. But it's such a good movie. It's probably the first animated movie that I watched that I was like, oh wow, like these are full AAA. Voice acted, the sound in it is great. It feels like a big time movie.
I think we said that before. Like, these animated movies are almost better Batman movies than what's currently out and what's going to be out, unfortunately, other than the Nolan stuff.
Well,
Justice League movies are awesome too.
Yeah, they are. They're all
the
really good.
really
DC
good.
stuff is
They do a
supposed to
good
be
job
really
of kind of I don't know. It's weird to say like Batman has a voice, but like they do a good job of like the characters don't ever feel like the voice is kind of like, oh, like Pixar does this, but they do a good job. They pick people who are famous or sort of famous, and then they kind of fit the character. Mm-hmm. This feels kind of the same way. They don't pick like famous people, but they pick famous voice actors. There's a whole documentary called I Know That Voice. It's actually really, really interesting. But go see this movie. It's fantastic. If you like Batman, if you read the comics, for sure go watch this if you haven't already. But do yourself a favor, go pick it up. I think it's on Apple. It's like you can rent it for like $4.
Speaking of, the trailer dropped for Killing Joke. Did you see that?
Yeah, it's supposed to be rated R.
I didn't see that. I've heard
rated
about
R.
it, but I didn't see it.
Rated R.
Yeah, and I know Mark Hamill's back, but he's kind of he's doing it a little bit differently. He's not.
Yeah, and the animation looks kind of different too, but I mean, it looks great.
Yeah, and I think so Mark Hamill's back, and then I can't remember the guy who does Bruce Wayne's voice.
That's like the OG animated
Yeah.
Batman guy, right?
Tim, I think. Anyways, but
Tim.
no.
Hey, Tim.
I think his last name's.
Good work.
I think it's Bruce Tim, but I might be wrong. That might be another Batman. But it's all of that stuff is so good, and I'm excited that they're going to do Killing Joke. I'm glad it's rated R. I think this is Deadpool. Thank God for Deadpool. You know what I mean? Like honestly, like That movie made
almost
so much
after
money.
Deadpool had its first weekend, Batman vs Superman, they were like, "Listen, we're gonna have a rated R cut on DVD.
Yeah.
Guys, don't worry about it."
Right.
Yeah, it's changing the.
I think they're realizing they can make plenty of money. And
Well,
kids,
there's
we saw
audience.
plenty of rated R movies when we were kids, and we turned out fine.
Just saying, the audience that loves this stuff is old enough to watch rated R movies.
Yeah.
When we were kids, they were like, "Oh, that stuff's for kids. That's kids stuff." You know what I mean?
Right.
Even though it'd been around for 30 years, it was still like people read it when they were a kid, and then they never looked at it again.
It's not.
And
It wasn't
now
as
it's like
mainstream.
a culture.
Yeah.
And we all love it.
And the Marvel movies are the Marvel studio, the MCU stuff. I mean, Kevin Feige said like up front, we're not going to make a rated R MCU movie.
That's fine.
So that's kind of for the kids stuff, and then you have the darker stuff for everybody else.
Netflix.
The adults.
Plus, it's like Disney, and I get.
No, but
why
that's what I'm saying. They
do that.
have the Netflix. They're like, here, this is for
Right.
So I totally love that. I like it. Keep it separated.
I did start watching Jessica Jones.
Not a fan.
Yeah, I think
watched
I'm like
the first
4 or 5
episode,
episodes.
and then
So good.
I started the second one. I was
There's a lull. There's a lull. There's definitely lulls on that show. It gets better towards
You
the middle.
can't
And then,
lull at the beginning.
I
It's
know.
the same thing I have with
like
Game
our
of
podcast.
Thrones.
It's called character development, man.
Okay.
You got to do it.
First of all, Game
Of Thrones.
No, that's
Okay,
not
everybody
true.
is like, watch Game of Thrones. Wow, Game of Thrones is the most amazing thing ever. Wow, okay, I've watched the first 2 episodes of Game of Thrones, first season. I've tried it multiple times. It's boring and
When
dumb.
is there ever a lull in that?
Never.
There's
I
people's
don't-
heads getting cut off in the very first 15 minutes.
There's zombies in the
There's
first 5 minutes.
boobs in
No,
the
there's
movie.
not. The boobs
there's
is the
some
only
shit.
reason I thought people liked it when I watched it. No, it's not. It's a bunch of people
is.
talking. There's a midget. He's kind of funny. It's not
Put
that
that on the back of the
awesome.
box.
Jordan's blurb for the back of
somebody
the
gets
Blu-ray.
pushed off a window. I just wasn't excited.
Poor Bran.
I don't know.
All right.
Anyway.
My number 4 was Batman Under the Red Hood. What's your number 4?
Spider-Man.
Which one?
First one.
One.
Yeah,
Not the
2002. Tobey Maguire as Peter Parker.
There we go.
I pulled the name out. Look
There
at
we
that.
go.
You didn't need me.
But yeah, no, that was just, it was, in my opinion, one of the first really popular superhero movies.
Yeah.
I think it was,
X-Men had
right?
come
That and
out.
X-Men.
Was
this before X-Men?
I think
After.
X-Men came out
okay.
first. I think that was like late 90s, maybe 2000. But it was not, only people who liked X-Men went and saw that. Spider-Man grew a popularity where just anyone was going to see it. I actually worked at the movie theater at this time too, so I have a lot of awesome
Yeah, of
memories
course.
bonded to
Yeah.
this movie. But it was bringing superheroes to mainstream in a way that had not been done before.
Right.
Yeah, there was Superman, there was Batman, but it was, first of all, it was the first Marvel. I mean, Blade was before it, but this was the first Marvel property that did really well. So I don't know. I just think it has to have a place in the top 5 movies. It does the whole development, the origin. I know we're all tired of that origin now.
But that's when it was.
But it wasn't. It was new and fresh and fun
Yeah.
and funny to watch.
Yeah, it
and,
was.
cool when you looked at his hand and you could see all the little hairs and fibers, and that's why he could climb.
I love the part when he wakes up in the morning and he looks at the mirror and he's all ripped and he's like, "Whoa, what happened?" Like,
Right.
With the glasses.
Yeah.
He's like, oh.
Yeah, you can see all of a sudden.
Yeah, it's great.
Mary J was cool.
Upside down kiss.
The upside
Fantastic.
down kiss.
It's classic.
I do that with my kids. I hold them upside down
Aw.
and give them a kiss. And yeah, no, just the Green Goblin was a fun character. The action scenes were amazing. CGI was not like distracting. It
Still
was
holds
done
up, too,
well.
yeah.
It was
I don't know if it holds up that well, guys.
Really?
Yeah, there's the Green Lantern bombs when they turn people into skeletons. It looks real bad.
the skeletons looked bad. Yeah, that looked bad then.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't hold up then, didn't hold up. Yeah. So
But yeah, overall,
Willem Dafoe, fantastic as
Oh,
the Green Goblin for
amazing.
pulling off a character that's kind of bad. It's a bad like that suit. The suit's.
yeah, the suit with the helmet was kind of stupid.
yeah.
I'd rather it have been like a face. Or
But that scene when he's losing his mind and the voices jump again, Bose.
Bose.
He's like,
there's a
does
scene.
the whole Gollum thing, right?
Yeah,
Where
he's like over here, over there, and it's like in surround sound. It's fantastic. Like that sold systems at Bose, by the way.
Yeah, for sure. I played that a lot.
God, why are all of our movie reviews based down to Bose cells?
Of course they were. They are. That's what we look at. What do we
We're
sell?
still getting paid by Bose. But yeah, I like the scene. Like again, we talk about him gaining knowledge, but like the scene where he's in the school and like the bully tries to fight him and he like does a backflip. You know what I mean? Like isn't that every
He's like,
nerd's
"Oh,
dream
of
to
course."
be able
Or
to do that?
No, it's the part where like she's about to slip and she has her lunch.
Oh,
she
and
like,
he
grabs
catches
really
it
quick and, like,
all.
catches the
Yeah.
girl.
Yeah, that's great.
So I don't know. Maybe that just reaches to the nerd inside of us. You
Yeah, of
know,
course.
this is a nerd who gets to girl, who gets to be cool, cool powers. The part where he's like goes and makes money, fighting in the wrestling match. You know,
Macho Man.
So
Rest in peace, Randy
Yeah.
Savage. It's awesome.
Wait, that was him?
Oh yeah.
Holy crap, I gotta go back and watch that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that has
Uncle
to be,
Ben, come on, man. It's the last time we saw Uncle Ben.
Again.
We see him. He showed up in Amazing Spider-Man.
No, he was already dead, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. That shows how great those movies were.
Yeah, exactly.
Memorable.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyways, it led to Spider-Man 3, which is unfortunate. But
I don't think that's his fault.
Who?
Sam Raimi and all those guys involved. I think it was the studio.
Oh, yeah, they get involved. And they have to have Venom and have horrible casting people. And
yeah.
I actually like Sandman.
No, anyways. Yeah, anyways. All right.
Spider-Man 1.
All right, so that's your number
4.
All right, so now are we on 3?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so you go
That
first.
comes after 4.
Shut up.
My number 3.
Do you need a minute? Do you want me to go?
Crap. No, I don't need you.
Okay.
Avengers.
Oh, okay.
Avengers.
Number 3.
Yeah. Similar reasoning is just seeing a team for the first time. Well, I guess not X-Men again, but it was done differently. They had a great build up to it, having all of them have their own individual movies. They were able to do no origin stories.
Cut to Hawkeye. I got no movie. I'm kidding. Go ahead.
Right.
Just him on a farm.
They don't need an origin story for a guy with a bow. I love Hawkeye.
It's just him picking up a bow, and then it's like that's pretty much it, guys.
In the movie. Yeah. But no, the cinematography in that movie, the last 30 minutes of that movie, I could just watch and repeat over and over and over and over and over again. They do the crappy villain thing where it's just a bunch of aliens nobody cares about. Loki, I don't like Loki personally.
I think Loki's the coolest freaking villain ever.
No, he's the actor's good.
Because you're the angry little brother, aren't you?
Yeah, that's right. No, I just think I just think his powers kind of suck. I mean, he's like mystical.
He's the trickster, man.
The trickster. There's a trickster in the Flash. It's
Yeah,
Mark Hamill. No, it's just I don't know. I just like more tangible. Like here's the thing: we don't know the limitations of his power. We don't know what his powers are. I know what Superman's powers are. You know what I mean? I know what like these Hulk's powers are. Like Loki could just be like, "Oh, snap my fingers and I'm a dragon."
Right.
Like, okay, well, like I can't argue that. Like maybe you can do that. You're just mystical. I don't know. It's a cop out power thing to me. Right. Being a trickster, is he really a dragon? He's just showing you a dragon. I don't know. It's kind of stupid.
So I'm going to piggyback off because my number 3 is also Avengers.
Oh, awesome.
The reason I think this movie is fantastic is a lot of the same reasons you said, but this is like again, the first time that we got to, this happened. Like, are you kidding me?
Right.
Like, you have seeds in Iron Man and you're like, maybe they'll do this. And then they pulled it off. Like, and Josh Whedon did a great job. I mean, for giving enough time to each character to not feel short shrift. And Hulk, of course, steals the movie. And I think I think I've talked about this. Like, I don't like the Hulk movies where it's like the entire time he's trying not to be the Hulk. It's like, no, we all want you to be the Hulk.
Right.
Like in this movie, he's like, oh, I'm always angry. Like that's many good. And
yeah, they got to get to the point where he can just Hulk on and Hulk off.
Right. They have to. And they use.
They got to the poem first.
Yeah, Black Widow.
Right.
But sun's getting real low.
No, but I also like there's parts in this movie that were like ripped out of a comic book. Like there's a part where Captain America is fighting with Iron Man behind him. They're both fighting people, and then Iron Man turns around and he holds his shield out. The
laser reflect.
Yeah, it bounces off and hits another guy, and then he jumps out of the building and he like there's an explosion and he holds the shield and tucks behind it and jumps through a building window. Like those are the scenes where I'm like, man, like you get it. Like that's from I remember seeing that in a panel of a comic when I was a kid. And I thought, oh, that's clever. You know, it's like using this I mean, it's a guy with a shield. Like, come on, like you know what I mean? Like they used him in a way, and they used him in the later movies too. It's just Avengers is a testament to how you do those kind of movies. Like we've seen it's hard to have a crowded cast.
And that's what we'll see with Civil War. I hope they can keep going. Because they've done a good job so far.
Yeah, an early buzz is that movie is the tits. I'm really excited for that movie. It's very high expectations. Possibly the best superhero movie of all time.
It's weird because, like, I mean, how did you... Captain America, the first one, up, down... What do you guys like that movie?
Oh, it was great.
Yeah, it was a fantastic movie.
I just didn't like the Red Skull. I just like, I know. But anyways...
I mean, we're talking about the first of the newer ones, not like the 80s.
No, I'm not talking about that one. The first, although that's not terrible. It's actually okay. I mean,
Red Skull's awesome in that too. He's got a real Red Skull and stuff. I actually enjoyed that movie as a kid. It doesn't make top 5 lists.
No, of course not.
It was enjoyable.
What's your number 3, Gerald?
My number 3 is The Incredibles.
You know what? That deserves to be on the list, and I didn't even think about it. That is a fantastic movie.
Such a good movie. I could watch that movie all the time, any day, anytime.
When is the next one coming out?
A couple years, I think.
Is it Brad Bird still, or?
I think so.
They've
think
teased
you're
that
trying-
movie so much. It's like, come on, just do it. I don't understand.
And they're actually doing it. I think they just showed the freaking poster. But anyway, it's a really good movie. Obviously, it has, again, what I like, all the humor built in these movies. And it takes a story that you don't see in typical superhero movies. It's like a superhero that hung up their capes and all, they're old and all that kind of stuff and how you deal with that. It's just a great, fantastic movie. Great villain.
Yes.
He's kind of like an
Jason
Iron
Lee.
Man, where it's just like his strength and all that kind of stuff. Or, sorry, his brain is what makes him the supervillain.
What was his name? Syndrome or
Syndrome.
Syndrome.
Yeah. The big ball, like the robot he keeps developing and like tests on superhero, kills the superhero, cool, and then the superhero kills the ball, develop the ball even more, then kills.
It's
a cool way of developing that technology.
Animation's still great. Where is my super suit woman?
My favorite scene is when they're in the motorhome, they're like landing. You're gonna miss the exit. You're gonna miss it. Just a really good movie.
Yeah, they had a lot of good, that
soundtrack, by the way. Almost best top 5 soundtrack almost in the movie too.
Really?
Yeah.
Never even
The
listened to
jazzy, the old school kind of.
That's true. Yeah, because they kind of go back and forth to like the 50s when they were. The thing I like about that movie is kind of the banter between the Mrs. Incredible and Mr. Incredible. I guess that's what they're called. Invisiwoman, I think is what she's. Or no, what is she called? Stretch Woman. I don't know what she's called.
Oh my God! Why can't I think
guy.
of this right now? Future David, help us out.
No way. No way.
You gotta edit that in now.
No.
I already called upon him. I called upon the future David. You have to put it in.
Not gonna happen.
Elastigirl's.
There we go. Thank God.
I knew it all along. I was just
Okay.
trying to.
But I like the banter between them too. It feels like, if a married couple was actually like having to fight crime, like, hey, we need to like make sure to take out the trash, and like, it's like that stuff was great. So
The kids are fighting. She's like tying her arms under the table to try to grab them and stuff.
Yeah, and he's like cutting the steak and he's getting angry, breaks the plate. Like, it's cool to see superheroes doing mundane things. Like, it's always funny to do that. They do a good job.
No capes. No capes.
She's great too. The one that designs all the costumes. She's
suits,
fantastic. Yeah.
Edna. Yeah.
The people that make the next Fantastic Four movie, please watch The Incredibles and just do that in real life. Just do that movie.
I'm assuming Fantastic Four's on your list somewhere here.
We'll get there.
But anyway, that's my number 3. Number 2. Anyone want to go first?
You want to go?
Sure.
Or do you want me to go?
Oh, I can go. I know it.
Okay, go.
It's Ant-Man.
Interesting. You love Ant-Man.
Probably should
loved
put that on my
Ant-Man.
mention. That movie's so good.
He's in Civil War. So.
I'm excited.
got a new
I didn't see him in the
helmet.
trailer because he's too small. No, no, that movie was really, really good.
You just love Paul Rudd.
I do love Paul Rudd. I got a man crush on Paul Rudd. I love that guy. But yeah, I mean, you fall in love with an ant that dies. I mean, come on, Antoine or whatever his name is.
No, it's Anthony.
Anthony, yeah, Anthony. That was like the so depressing part of the movie.
Oh, it's so
but no,
great.
it's a great heist movie. It was so funny. It was well directed. It was it had great storyline for me because it had Pym. It talked about
Scott
Jane.
Lang, yeah.
It talked,
The Wasp, brings in everything, yeah.
Just
Michael
again,
Pena,
him building.
by the way.
Michael Pena, awesome.
Back
Him
up.
getting a lot of mine are all origin stories, which I think
No, that
probably
makes sense,
has to do with a lot of it. But him getting to know his powers, learning the
Running into
ants,
the
doing
door.
these things. It's just so funny. It's such a good movie. It's lighthearted. I mean, the scene at the end, the ultra scene is in the girl's bedroom with the
great.
friggin' train and stuff. It's just awesome. It's really
Yeah, it's
awesome.
the humor, man.
It's great.
They kill that sheep. I mean, funny part, when the person dies, everybody's like, okay. And then the sheep, and you're like, why? Why?
Not the sheep.
Why would you kill a poor sheep? But yeah, just overall, my favorite of the Marvel movies beats the Avengers, beats Iron Man,
Wow.
beats all those. I just
That's
love
impressive.
that movie. I'm excited to see Civil War. Maybe it'll take that mantle, but for now, Ant-Man's still on top. I'm interested to see, because now that it's been a long time, we can talk about spoilers and stuff, but when he goes in, when he shrinks to that super small section,
And he goes-
and everything's
The
just
subatomic
super
world.
Subatomic, yeah, that's what it's called.
psychedelic and
Yeah,
everything
yeah.
subatomic. In the Doctor Strange trailer, things looked very similar to
Yeah.
that. And I want to know.
Maybe that's
Crossover.
one of the dimensions or what's it called?
Yeah, and I'm curious if they'll bring back Jane from, the original Wasp will get to come back. I think that'll be really cool.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's interesting to see like these smaller characters actually have really good movies. I mean,
Do you think he's going to go
Pym
big?
is not a smaller character in my book.
No,
Pym is a huge character to me.
No. I meant as far as the normal like audience. You know what I mean?
I know, but
Like they could have
Like
just.
Guardians of the Galaxy? Like, who are these
That's what I'm
guys?
saying. And it's
Now,
characters.
Guardians of the Galaxy, like I read comics I never heard of those characters ever, and I read a lot of comics and I collected a lot of comic cards, and there was no Groot or Rocket.
No tree.
There may have been a Rocket Raccoon,
Yeah, there was.
but that's I don't remember any of those other characters.
Yeah.
But I'm Star-Lord maybe. But
Yeah, he probably.
I'm not what was the red guy's name? I don't remember.
Drax, the
Drax,
Destroyer.
the Destroyer.
Nothing
those
goes
were-
over my head. I would catch it.
That is a
My
great
reflexes
line.
are too good.
That is such a great line.
But that's the thing. Like the Ant-Man movie has like the lines in it that are so great. Like I love the beginning of that movie when he's in the prison fight, and it's just like it's the fight that you have to go through to be kicked out or get out of jail.
Right,
Like it's
right.
just so funny. Like it's
No, I like the descriptiveness of Michael Pena telling his stories.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
So I told her I do this.
Oh man, he was so fine.
It's so great.
Oh, such a good movie.
Yeah, so that it had to make number 2 on my list. So we'll go to David.
All right, my number 2 is Spider-Man 2. I love Spider-Man 1 a lot, but Spider-Man 2 is so
It's arguably like a really solid movie too.
yeah,
like,
it's
critically.
such a good movie, and I love. There's little things in there that Sam Raimi, because his background is Evil Dead and horror movies, slasher movies. There's a scene where the Chip. I always love. He did a good job of like being corny. Like a comic book would. He's like, hey, this chip in the back of my head, if it goes out, I'm going to start killing people. And it's like, well, I know what's going to happen in the next 15 minutes. That chip's going to break. But then they're after the thing explodes or whatever, and Alfred Molina, fantastic Doc Ock, again, and great casting for him. They're trying to take off the suit, and then the suit wakes up and it starts murdering people, and it's like this slasher film.
I like the
Oh,
quit
yeah.
zooms onto like the
screaming face, the
Yeah.
blood curdling scream, and then she has the nails in the ground when she's getting
Right.
shrugged away. Like that felt so out of place, but so awesome. Like
It's perfect for him. That's,
oh,
that's
great.
Raimi, yeah.
And then the ending of that movie is just perfect. When he's like, oh, that's what it's Peter Parker. You were that boy that always was so busy, like you were brilliant, but always lazy. And it's like, I loved the idea of like Peter Parker. Do I want to be Spider-Man? Because he started losing his powers and like,
That is Peter Parker. Peter Parker is the biggest complainer for the coolest
yeah.
powers on
Of
the
course he is.
planet. Like, God, stop with the teenage angst already. You can freaking walk up walls. It's awesome.
Just rob one bank and get over it.
Jeez.
Donate half of it to charity. Come on, they have insurance.
He could figure out a better way to make money than
Oh.
taking pictures of himself. For being so smart,
Right.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, and then you have J. Jonah Jameson, who was great in all of the
Great
movies.
casting for that.
He's supposed to be casted in some superhero movie, but no one knows what it's supposed to be. Or he's supposed to be in
they
some.
did say his role. I forgot what it was though.
But
it's a DC movie.
It doesn't matter what it is. It's gonna be like, can you just be? We'll give you J. Jonah Jameson, DC. Just be him. I mean, he was perfect. The second movie also, again, had a lot better CGI. That scene between Doc Ock and the at the bank, and then it goes onto the subway. And then the only thing I didn't enjoy about that movie is like everyone finds out who Spider-Man is. Like
Right.
literally everyone.
And they take it honor. It's like we won't.
And
tell
like,
anybody.
he's just a boy.
That was cool though. He's no older than my son. I'm like, wow, you guys all really talk out loud monologue.
Not one person is going to tweet who it is or send a picture. Come on.
Oh, to be fair, that was, I don't even know if Twitter was around.
But
There
you know
was
what I
cell
mean.
phones.
Like, not one person is going to take a picture and be like, "Hey, man, Peter Parker's fine, man."
Yeah.
I mean, it's a big city. They don't all know who
There's a
Peter
lot of people,
Parker
yeah.
is. He's just some teenager.
But I like even like the scenes with the roommate, the Russian girl who would bring him like baked goods.
Oh, yeah, that was
I
weird.
liked that. It was so cute, and like I don't know, I just enjoyed and then of course the Spider-Man 3, they just
Drove
drove
into the
it
ground.
into the ground.
That was
Typical
horrible.
Sony.
And this is the thing about I always talk about this. Tobey Maguire is like he's perfect Peter Parker, man. He
Yeah.
is a nerd who got to be Spider-Man. Like, but
Yeah, I thought that Tobey Maguire did a better Peter Parker, and then the newer Spider-Man did a better Spider-Man.
I've
The
heard
exact same thing David
yeah,
said. Like,
it is
last
so
week.
true. And I think the new one is supposed to be like the best of both worlds.
Oh, good.
I
They
can't-
like showed him both, and they're like, do this and do that.
when you're not in the suit, be this guy. When you're in the suit, be this
Plus,
guy.
isn't he super young?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
well,
he's
I
like
think,
16.
14? Oh, 16?
well, I think he'll probably even play younger, which is great. I mean,
Yeah.
that's fine.
And
That was
his real age is 16, but yeah.
yeah. So that's my number 2 is Spider-Man 2. Plus, go play the video.
I was
game.
gonna have to say, I was like, Spider-Man 2 was the best game ever.
Oh,
I
that's-
remember, I think we were living together around
With the
that
web
time.
slinging stuff.
And
yeah.
we would just spend hours going
Just
around the
swinging.
city, just swinging around.
And then we had a friend Dace who lived in New York. I think I played it later when he ended up moving. He's like, oh yeah, my condo or my apartment's right over there.
Right.
It's
By
like
the way,
actually mapped out.
shout out to Dace. Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations.
That's the text I got was his picture of his baby.
Congratulations, Stacy Marcia. All right. Are you? No. You
I've
ended
done
number
my
two.
number two, man.
Number two. What's your number two?
The Dark Knight.
What?
Typical, probably David's number one.
We'll see.
Probably, I don't know if it's on your
We'll
list.
see.
But yeah, it's my number
makes
two
my
movie.
list.
Excellent. Obviously, it's the darkest movie on my list. I like all
No
the funny
pun
stuff.
intended?
Yeah, no pun intended. But even this movie, which is super dark, has some humor in it.
Oh,
It
it's
does.
super
It's
funny.
very funny.
Yeah, there's-
Joker's hilarious.
Jesus.
He's like, where'd the pencil go? Oh, man. I'll make a pencil.
But everyone in this movie is solid. Heath Ledger, R.I.P.
Yeah, so sad.
Best Joker. I guess we'll wait
wish-
to see for what Jared Leto does. But it's just solid acting all around.
again-
Everyone knows. Everyone's seen this movie. Everyone knows it's an
Go
excellent movie.
watch it again. Jordan's
Go
seen
watch it again, yeah.
Yeah, it's. I get upset that he died because I wanted to see a second one of these movies. I know it's selfish of me, but it was like I don't care about A Night Tale 2. I don't
11
care about
things I
10
hate
things,
about-
right, 11
11
things I
things.
hate about you. But I would have loved
Brokeback
to
Mountain
see
too.
him. Right, I would have loved to see a reprisal of that role.
Well,
Yeah, me too.
and obviously Dark Knight Rises, you have all of the characters come back even from the original, the Dark Knight, or what is it called?
Yeah,
Batman Begins. So I think we've said this before in the podcast. I think he has said that he had something in mind for him.
You had to have. It was just an iconic portrayal of
Yeah.
that character.
The boat scene at the end's great.
Who plays Star Lord again? I can't remember his name.
Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt reminds me of him. Like just like his physique. Kind of. I think if he grew his hair long, he could do a cool Joker.
Really?
I don't know. He's too.
You got to have the
Meaty for
laugh. It's the laugh, the
He
cackle.
could- I don't know.
The cackle is what you got to have.
But I think
I'm not even gonna try
Was
to
he
do
one
it.
of the first villains? I mean, especially in superhero, he was like, "It's not a plan. I just want to
Watch the world
shit
burn.
up, man."
Yeah, watch the world
Right.
burn.
Exactly.
That movie also. My number one's.
Keep going, man.
Okay. Do you want us to go to number one?
Sure.
My number one is Dark Knight.
My number
Okay.
one is Dark Knight too.
So,
so-
we'll end with your number one. So, okay. The thing about that movie that I saw it in IMAX. That was the first time I saw it. Right. So there's that scene, the bank scene at the beginning when they're. It's immediately
It's all
like
filmed in IMAX.
Yeah.
The silence. It's not even the sound. It's the silence.
It's so
the
intense.
lack of sound. It's amazing.
oh, such a good job.
And just the
such a good
first
job.
scene zooming in on the clown mask, and then like the whole time, this Joker guy, have you heard of him? Blah blah blah. And then it's like he's the guy, and it's it's just perfect.
Yeah,
Perfect.
and then the
Freaking
movie.
Nolan, man.
The movie was a little too long.
Definitely. They should have cut the last 30 minutes off.
Yeah, well,
for
I mean, you had to do the whole
sure.
Two
They
Face
didn't
thing.
need to do that.
You had to set up he becomes the bad guy, right? I mean, Dark Knight's the bad guy. That was kind of what he had a trilogy in mind, I think.
Yeah, but I think they could have
What'd you think?
tacked that onto the beginning of the next
Yeah, I
movie
know.
or something. I don't know. It seemed
Well,
like
did
it
you-
took away from it.
Remember the CGI for his face? That was pretty
Excellent.
brutal.
Yeah,
You didn't like it?
it was alright.
I thought
was
it was.
excellent.
I thought it was.
I
Okay.
prefer Tommy Lee Jones.
The
the purple melted face. No way.
I like the suit that's divided in half.
His the
The
two
part I didn't
girlfriends.
like is he's like
I
on
just
his
watched
face.
that the other day.
Yeah.
Rachel!
Yeah, that's the part. That's I mean, he overdoes
God,
it.
Maggie Gyllenhaal is the worst actress on this
Really?
planet.
I didn't
Ugh.
mind her.
I don't like her.
Skeletor.
Stand is
She's not cute.
She's the worst Gyllenhaal, man. Ugh,
the
can't stand
two.
her.
No, there's so many. There's a ton.
There's scenes in that movie that are straight out of like the old cartoon. I know we've talked about Dark Knight
Yeah.
forever on this podcast, but
That's fine. This is the appropriate time to talk about
right.
it. The one time.
so then there's like the scene where they're having the little party, the shindig at Bruce Wayne's house,
Yeah.
and then Joker shows up. Like those were like every other cartoon episode was
Right.
Joker showing up to these parties with all his henchmen
Right.
and just messing with them and stuff. And it just played out so nice. The part where he slides down on the money before he burns
Yeah, and
it.
then he lights it
like,
on fire.
Oh my! Like that is the Joker.
The
That is
nurse.
amazing.
Click,
the
click,
nurse.
click,
Oh,
click,
beautiful.
Yeah, it was great.
Even just like when he has all the grenades and stuff on his body, and he's like got his little thumb. He's like, He's always got his thumb like gonna pull it. He's
Yeah.
like, hold on there. It's such an amazing job.
I also like that they don't, because apparently DC recently came out and said they're going to do an origin to Joker officially, like an
Really?
actual official origin to Joker, which is fine, whatever. But I love that they give an origin to him in the beginning because you're like, oh, they're going to talk about how I got these scars, but then he
Right.
changes it, so you're like, oh, you don't know, like that's
Right.
Joker. It's so unsettling. And again, he's right up in the camera and he's like, you want to know how I got these? I mean, it's just like, it's so awesome. Like, it's so, he is so creepy.
Right.
And it's even creepier because of, the actual events that occurred. You know what I mean? Because I heard he really got into it, like to a point where it was, not good.
No, I've heard some stuff about Jared Leto doing the same thing with Suicide Squad.
Sending dead rats or something to people?
Yeah, sending gifts to his castmates, and they're like dead animals and stuff like that, like really getting in the character.
Apparently, we really probly shouldn't let people play the Joker anymore.
It's too much, right?
Like, Mark Hamill can't even say anything in movies anymore. He just... So that's my
It's
number
like
one.
Tropic Thunder was that where he's like, you never go full tar. There's like another good Robert Downey Jr. movie.
All right, so we did both of our number ones. Again, if you have not seen Dark Knight, what are you doing? Get out underneath
Who
your
hasn't
rock.
seen that
wrong
movie? It's
with
like
you.
one of the top 5 or 10.
How is it
movies
not
I've seen of
your
all time.
top? I want to hear this.
My top is The
good.
Avengers.
Oh, okay.
Just, same stuff you said. It's seeing the first, the ensemble cast all together for the first time after building up for all these movies. Seeing them the first time on screen. It's never happened before.
Yeah.
I could just rewatch that movie over and over
And
again.
then that made you a fan of S.H.I.E.L.D., right? Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Yeah, I
That's
haven't.
how much you love the
I'm not
Avengers?
caught up, but the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. pretty good.
I think what's interesting also is that movie, again, Joss Whedon just does such a good job, and I think he said he's taking a break, right? Because he's not going to direct anything after he did the second one, because he's like, it's too much.
No, it came out a couple days ago where he's not objective to doing another Marvel movie. It's just with the studio pressure with Ultron, and you can kind of see it in that movie. The movie's not the best. It was just kind of
too many cooks.
pushed the wrong way. Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's like you have to serve so many masters. And like we talked about with Star Wars, like with these movies, you can't, I mean, you can make leaps, but you have to be real careful. Because you do Batman versus Superman, not to beat that up again. But I mean, you said when we were right before we started, I guess 2 of the directors for the upcoming DC movies are potentially leaving, or maybe...
Yeah, the Flash director already left for sure, and then James Wan for Aquaman is, I guess, was rumored to be.
So I mean, it's a testament. That movie could have that movie had every opportunity to fail as much as it had to succeed. You know what I mean? Like you had there's
If it
so
would
many
have done
characters.
well, it could have built an amazing franchise. And
Yeah,
instead, it just...
No, but I'm saying
Destroying.
Avengers. That's what I'm saying. The Avengers had every opportunity to fail.
Yeah, if
disastrously.
If the first Avengers movie was as bad as Ultron, then yeah, we probably would have had a problem.
First of all,
Ultron was
Ultron
not
is not bad.
bad.
It's just because it's next to the other movie. I mean, that's the
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, maybe it's all right.
The other thing is that, it just suffers from nobody cares about the bad guy. It's always the bad guy, I think, that screws things up. Ultron
Well, that's what I
was
like
not a
about
good
Loki,
bad
because
guy.
Loki was technically the big bad guy of the Avengers, but it's not. It's
The Skrull was- I
the
think that-
demon, and then obviously we get the huge reveal. I remember losing my shit at the end of the freaking movie when you got to see
Thanos, yeah.
yeah, Thanos at the end. You're just like, oh my god, Thanos, Infinity Gauntlet, oh my god.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like they're like, we're gonna do an Avengers movie. Like, no, you're not. And then they do. You're like, oh my god. And then they're like, and we're gonna do an Infinity Gauntlet. We're like, no, you're not. Like and they're gonna do it. Like
And they're
that's
still building. And how many movies has it been building up to each movie coving a stone here, a stone there?
Right.
I'm of the mind they're making it up as they go. I mean, I know they have
No,
some
they're
general
not,
idea,
man.
but like,
Yeah, man.
come on, man. They're. I mean, striking gold.
Well, I mean,
it's
it's just like the only things that tie it together are these little. I mean, once they
stones.
had Guardians of the Galaxy, I think they had an idea in mind. But at the beginning, it was just these little cutscenes. I mean,
Right.
it's like Iron Man.
hey, we're
It
trying to
didn't
make
really
this-
say anything about
Yeah.
anything. I think it had a Captain America shield or something in his area or something
Yeah.
like that. There were some little,
And that was
things.
almost just a fan service thing.
Right, and then they do a little cutscene with Samuel L. Jackson or something, and then they do the Hulk movie, and they just do a little cut. You know what I mean? They were testing the waters.
No,
they
I
were
know.
like not jumping all in at first, and then once they had enough build to it, Guardians of the Galaxy did phenomenal. And all this,
And I
they
think
got
that's-
the stones building up, but I don't think it was originally the plan was the Infinity Gauntlet.
I think it was always kind of like you said, the
general
frame of where
very,
they were going to
very
go.
thin frame, I would say. I think the one thing about Avengers is it is the reason that there's so many more Marvel movies being made and more leaps being taken, and also in the TV space. I mean, I don't know if what's the one with or she was S.H.I.E.L.D. back in the day.
Agent Carter.
Agent Carter, is that still around? I stopped watching it.
Yeah, they just ended they've had 2 seasons. They're really short. They're like 6 episodes.
But that's what I'm saying.
Not very
Without
good.
the grandiose success of that movie, I don't know if Disney and Marvel would have taken the chances they've taken
course
with
not.
Guardians of the Galaxy, with Ant-Man, with Doctor Strange. I mean, those are for all intents and purposes, the money they're putting into them, it's still a risk, big time.
Not even that,
still.
but like you said, the TV stuff, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they're doing a spin-off from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. to another show,
So-
which is dumb,
so
but
thank you,
whatever.
Josh
What is the
Whedon.
other
Yeah.
show?
They're going to do what's the chick's, not Black Widow, what's the chick's name? Widow's
Martha Hill. I don't know. What you're talking
No,
about.
it's the
Mockingbird?
Yeah, Mockingbird. Her and then her
awesome.
husband in that show. They're gonna.
Her
do a
husband
mix.
is Hawkeye. How are
Maybe
they
in the
gonna do that?
comics, not in Marvel's.
Anyways, well, I just think Josh Whedon. He's a good guy.
Yeah. Too bad they ran him out. What are you gonna do?
They'll find somebody else. Don't worry.
I just hope they don't let it all screw up. Then
Yeah.
let it all fall
Well,
apart.
that's why I'm
But
like I
either
said,
way, we got a lot out
The
of it.
Civil War.
The same guys who are doing Civil War, the Russo brothers, who did Captain America: First Avenger, and they did. Did they do the First Avenger?
I'm not sure. No, I don't know.
I know they did Winter Soldier. They're doing Civil
Winter
War,
Soldier's
and
so
they're
good.
doing Infinity War too. The brothers. So,
Yeah.
and I know Josh Whedon is EP on the Infinity War movies as well.
Good.
Or
Good,
no,
good,
maybe
good.
it's Favreau. Anyway,
I was going to
they're
say, I
gonna-
thought Favreau was.
Yeah, it's
but, I mean,
Favreau.
he's like I see his name all over the place as executive producer. He's
got a lot of money.
I
I
mean,
mean,
his
EP,
name
what does an
on
EP
like
do?
everything.
He grows up and you grows up. Swingers reference. All right, let's wrap it up. Good conversation. Top 5 superheroes. This was hard. I was trying to like be, I wanted to pick like, I don't know. The movies that I picked, I feel like they're the easy picks, if that makes sense. Like, oh, Spider-Man 2, and you know what I mean? But these are good movies. Like, they're not bad objectively. They're not bad movies. So, again, if we didn't say any of your favorite movies, leave them in the comments down below. We want to know.
Yeah, what are your favorite superhero movies?
Yeah, also, you can shoot us an email. It's at...
sitdownstandard@gmail.com.
Now, Jordan, you've been gone for a few weeks. Do you remember the email? It's...
Sit down standard at like Hotbot.
the hell is Hotbot?
Earthlink?
It's Hotmail.
No, Hotmail.
Gmail.
No, do you remember
Gmail.com.
No, Hotbot was like it was like before Google took everything over. There was like options like Lycos.
Yeah, we
And
had...
Hotbot was like a search engine.
All right.
Yeah.
Alta Vista for life.
Ultimate.
Babblefish.
Dogpile.
Do those still exist?
No.
They have to.
The domains are probably
Who
just
takes 'em?
redirect to Yahoo or something. Yahoo bottle that crap up.
All right.
Okay, so at Yahoo.
Okay. It's still not the right
No,
one.
Gmail.
There you go.
We should just buy everything he says, just have him forward to our
Yeah,
Gmail.
That's
exactly.
what I thought we were doing. I
No.
thought David
Except
bought
it's- I don't
everything.
think at Facebook.com is a thing.
You can't do that?
Well, you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Sit Down Standard. And again, thanks for checking us out. Till next time. Bye.
See you.
Later.